My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the Technologist Forum is back. This is 2026. Goodness gracious, I'm not. I'm not ready. The ladies on my left and my right, they better be ready because we got a lot to talk about. What it do? Garcia Donald. I need another
Yeah,
nickname. We need a better nickname than that.
we do. It's good. It's good. It's
It's
2026,
good.
y'all.
Yes.
It's a new
Already like the
year,
second week
new
home.
new goals, new everything.
Ooh-wee. Man, we
It's the new.
it's the new. It's so new. This is what
It's
we
the
doing,
new
ladies and
new.
gentlemen. Let me tell you what we doing,
It's
ladies and
so
gentlemen.
new. It's the new.
Let me put some logistics around what we're doing. We so new for the new year. We got new infrastructure running. We are all over these internet streets right now. Yes, we're on YouTube doing the thing in the standard mode, horizontal. But oh my goodness, if you're watching us in the shorts feed, we vertical. We are on Instagram. Shouts out to the people on Instagram. I see some folks already over there on IG, and we look a little bit different, but hopefully we look dope.
You always look
Well,
good.
you know, where my Substack folks at? We there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are everywhere. We're trying to do the thing so we can show up where you are and help you build better and create better. Man, that's the tag for the new year, y'all. God, somebody
I
say
saw
something.
that. I heard that. Look at that.
All right. There's method to the
I
madness.
see Chris Brown hanging out with us
Yeah, what do you say? We vertical and we horizontal.
and landscape.
Well, you know, landscape.
Vertical and
He's old school. That's why he said that. Let's go and get into it though, man. Let's be cognizant of time. I want to set the stage and have the conversation today about what my notes at. Good Lord, building your creator infrastructure and executing with less stress and more strategy. My gosh, those big words that I typically don't use, but Stephanie and Florence will know how to break that down. And let's start just kind of break this down into segments, and both of y'all chime in. But Florence, I kind of tagged you to lead this particular segment about welcome sequences and productivity types and aspects, things that you do, because that's really where your wheelhouse is in productivity and engaging from the onset. You're about to do another workshop, webinar, mastermind here in a couple of weeks, and just kind of the steps that you go through to initiate that first point of contact with folks, welcome email, so to speak. What are your thoughts on
okay,
that? How
awesome.
can
Well,
creators get better at that type of thing?
it starts with wanting to create a welcoming environment in the world. Your user experience, your customer experience is everything. And you can have the greatest product, the greatest technology, the greatest whatever, but if the customer experience is horrible,
Mm.
it doesn't make a difference. So it's really thinking through what is the experience. I start with thinking through, not the tech. Thinking through what is the experience I want my guest speakers to have? They're important. What is the experience I want those who will attend and participate, and even those who will watch the replay? What is the experience all the way through? What is the information that they would need to have? How can I present it? What questions would they have? So it's planning that out long before anything is put into an email platform, and knowing what the touch points are going to be. How am I going to answer questions when the questions come? What if I didn't do something right and there's a problem? So I really spend a decent amount of time thinking through the sequence and first. And I just sometimes it's brainstorming. Just brainstorm it out, know who the people are and all of the places you have to touch. Then you get into the sequence itself. And in anything, when you're doing a campaign of any type for any purpose, but as a content creator, it can be your regular show, it can be a special project, it can be anything. You're going to have two streams of sequence. That's I need to let everybody know. You could almost say three.
Mm.
I need to let everybody on my mailing list know. So that's one string. You're going to set that up. Then you're going to have a second stream that spins off for those people who say, yes, I want to participate. You need to have what they need to get. That's the second piece. And the third piece, if you have guest speakers, what do they need to get? So
Okay.
really thinking through the not only welcome, but the experience, the words, when it comes, how it feels, the graphics, the cadence, what that looks like. And this year I actually added a fourth one in because I've got my online community. That's a fourth one, but I just use pieces and parts of what I've already done for the others because my community is my community. It's, they're my customers. So
Right.
I treat them the same. I give them the information. So from an email standpoint, it's that first thinking through and planning out what you want and what you intend your experience to be for your audience.
Okay.
Being
Okay.
very intentional. Then
Mm.
whatever your platform is you're using, I do all of my writing. I don't even open my platform. I do all my writing, all my research, all my editing, get all my graphics. All of that is done before I ever open up my email platform.
Okay. So let me do this. Because I want to challenge you with something right there. You said
Mhm.
you gave a whole class right there in 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Florence, man,
She sure
are
did.
we charging for this? No, we're not charging yet. Do you give
Yeah.
yourself grace though? Yeah, watch it now. All right, Stephanie, watch yourself. Do you give yourself grace because you mentioned out every single step? It sounds like the entire bulleted list, but I'm talking about giving yourself grace for the fact that you're going to forget something, you're going to miss something. But
Mhm.
and I kind of want that to not go assumed. The fact that yeah, you've done this
Right.
before. Speaking specifically of your workshop and your mastermind that's coming up.
Mhm.
But not having all the answers, but yet and still you go do the thing, right? You
Mhm.
may not have 100%, you may have 90%, you may only have 30% of exactly what those emails look like, what those welcome sequences. And Stephanie, I want you to chime in here as well, because I know you do, again, a lot when it comes to bringing brands on that you collaborate with, but getting folks out of their way to actually move forward, even though you may not have all those steps, Florence, that you just went down. Does that kind of make sense, what I was saying?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna tag Stephanie in, but I just want to say, in all things, give yourself grace. In
Mm,
all of your processes, every single one of them, you're going to learn something new. You're going to bump into a piece of friction. You're going to have someone ask a question that, "Ooh, I didn't think about that." So, in that place, that's your opportunity to say, let me handle this slightly differently. Let me answer it a different way. Let me shore up this thing that I wasn't even aware of. Let me figure out how I did it today. I'll give you an example. I'm planning an event that's on Tuesday and something big happened, and I was like, I keep having to go to these same sets of documents and I'm clicking. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Make a stream deck button to open up each one of them. And as you need to walk through them, you literally just tap the button. They're right here together. That's an example of having a point of friction that I was working with.
mm.
And I was like, stop. You can fix this and you don't have to do this, make it hard. I didn't get upset with myself. I just recognized it as I was like, "Oh, recognize you can fix this. Fix it, and now I can help. I can move forward."
I love that. I love that. Stephanie, before you chime in, I want to give some acknowledgement to folks coming in. We saw Cast Ahead, Chris Stone is here. Appreciate you, brother, for being here. My man John was, I don't know if y'all saw the comments. He was concerned that we were only in vertical. But John, we in horizontal too, brother. So we meeting you where you at. Come on now. And Dr. Irvin Fry in the building. I see you, man. Appreciate you.
I see Dr. Fryer.
Dr. Fryer is here. I'm gonna sit up straight, right? Make sure I'm looking right because we got the doctor in the building, and my man Montel Allen is here too as well. So just want to acknowledge folks, and I see some other folks. Appreciate you guys as well. Keep asking your questions. Stephanie, your thoughts, right? Again about that initial engagement with clients, brands, and how you go about doing that, so you don't again stress yourself out when you want to be creative.
Yeah, I think having where I want to be creative in a separate doc versus the actual like email platform is quite nice because I'm not distracted by so many different clicky things. And I feel like even these days, I don't know if
I'll
you've been
fix
in
that.
ClickUp lately, but I don't know if you've been in ClickUp lately. But as soon as I go into ClickUp, all of a sudden it's like there's everything. There's a modal, there's a bubble, there's a this, there's a that. And I feel like if I just want to be creative, I just want to like see what it is that I'm looking at and playing around with, and then going there.
Yeah.
No.
You're fixing in the
Stephanie,
background.
you say that, and it's really doing that thinking creative molding before you get into the tool,
Yeah.
because you can get so. I wrote something in my community today about how 60 seconds caused me to not achieve a goal that I had because I got distracted. And it
Mm,
was like a 1 minute of distraction, and it caused me to not to miss a goal. And
Yeah.
had I it doesn't take a lot. Like, sometimes we think it's gonna be a lot, but sometimes it can be something so minor. I typically do all of my creative thinking, planning, getting ready before I ever open up a tool to do it. And I often, if I'm writing, I will use m nearly all the time. It's a rare occasion that I don't. I will use a plain text editor and write in Markdown for that very
Love it.
reason. There's nothing for me to get distracted with. There are no extra buttons, no fonts, no nothing. I just write and work with the words and how I want them to be and what I want them to say. Because everything we do starts with words.
yeah.
Videos, songs, it starts with the words.
Yeah.
So let's go into that because that's kind of the next segment by not limiting yourself or not being tied down to specific technology tools, right? Back down to the written word, just pull out
Mhm.
a pen and paper, that kind of thing, or just the default app that comes on your mobile device. Stephanie, your thoughts on that, right? There's so many things out there. You mentioned ClickUp. I know Florence, you're an Evernote fanatic. I'm a fan fanatic. I want to say it in the most respectful way. Uh,
Thank you.
but we could sit here and we can give our top 3, 4, 5 tools that we like to use on every single day, dependent on the use case. But
Mhm.
some of the old school stuff still works.
Yeah.
Miss Garcia uses Excel like it's nobody's business. I've seen her put some pivot tables together. What I'm saying, so help us talk about that piece right there, right? Uh, Putting that topic database together and planning around content, things like that. What's your thoughts on that?
I love having all of my content kind of in one place. We call it like the social media vault for ourselves as well as our clients because everything lives in there. And my platform of choice for that is Notion. Because as you said, Notion is just like it's a table, it's a database. I could pivot it any which way that I want to. And not only that though, but when my script writers go in there, we have one tab that says video ideas. And so we'll say, here's the title and here's the hook. And if the client likes it, then the client can say, script approved. Once it's approved, then the script writer will start creating the hook and the entire script for it, right? Then when we go into production, I have a production agency. then we go into production. We get all of those scripts. We put it into a teleprompter. We do a batch content creation day. We film all of the long form and the short form content. Now, all of that's in there in Notion. We'll tag it by the specific content pillars and by the actual conversion funnel. So we'll say like, is this an awareness play? Is this a consideration play? Like, where is this across that funnel? And I say this because a lot of our clients are B2B and oftentimes like we can't just create content just to create content. At the end of the day, because we're on a retainer, we have to prove our ROI, right? So I can say, if you're launching a campaign, let's say you're launching a new product feature, I could easily go into Notion and say, this is the campaign. This is the short form video, the long form video. This is how it connects to the blog post. Everything all lives underneath this umbrella, and then it's always connected to our report. So that's why I love Notion in that sense. It's more of a CYA, it's my intellectual property. Notion even has AI because sometimes I'll just be like, what was that one post that I talked about AI and government contracting? And then boom, it'll just pull it up for me, which I absolutely love. What I will say too is for me, you guys know me, I go from one idea to the other.
Squirrel.
I love
Oh,
Roam
sorry.
Research.
No.
Yeah. I love Roam Research because it
Mm.
has like that bi-directional linking. And one of the cool features in it, if you haven't seen it before, it's kind of like this constellation map. And I could go from one idea to the other and just keep drilling in, drilling in, drilling in, like you're zooming in on a Google map, but they're all the ideas that I've ever had. And I could connect them, which I find has been very helpful when I've had to do keynote presentations, writing a book, writing an article, or finding like a case study. But at the end of the day, that's where I kind of throw spaghetti at the wall, see where it connects. But then when I need to have it finalized so that way the team sees it, Notion is where it lives. Because
Yeah.
then once it's put out there into like the ether, I want to know how it performs. And we talked about this last time about having like my greatest hits album. Like I know
Yeah.
the zip lining will always crush it. Zip
Every
lining will
year.
always crush it
Every
every
year.
year. Every year I will do that. And I can make my little notes on it. I could reference it. Everything is just there.
I'm gonna
So I'm
spin up.
gonna throw out.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was no, 'cause I'm gonna
I
show
was gonna
our
say,
Notion page here in a second.
okay, I'm gonna throw out something, and Stephanie, you may have been saying it, but I'm gonna say it for the people in the back.
Oh, that's for me.
In Notion, one thing to consider is understanding the difference. This also gets to your email sequence as well. Understanding the difference of what your product is and how your content ties to your product.
Oh my.
Because, and you can relate them. If you want to know how, come to school. Uh, but be aware of that, because then that gives you, you can also relate to multiple products. I can use the same product for a different campaign. The product didn't change. I can still see that. And over time, I can see all of the campaigns, all of the channels, all of the venues, all of the places, whether it was an email sequence, whether it was an article, a Substack, or you sent something to uh, press releases, whatever the content is, you can see them all linked. So you know how much, how many products you have, and how many pieces of content you created for that product, how many campaigns those those pieces of content fly to, and how many campaigns that product has been associated with. Just saying.
Yes.
You doing a
Um,
Notion masterclass?
Sometimes I don't tell people everything I be doing.
Uh,
I was even going to say as well. Sometimes you might have like a campaign and you only had X amount of pieces to promote that specific product feature or that launch or the new course that you're doing. And then if you're going to launch it again the next year, you could always go back and say, was that enough? Should I have done more Instagram stories? Should
mm.
I have reached out to more people for for like a podcast or this or that? So you keep it updated in that sense. And someone was asking me a question. I was trying to find it, James. It was.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up here in a second from my time, Abby. You create one batch of content. How do you make sure it complements the next batch if it's personal branding?
Yeah, so we do this for our clients. So just on Monday, we were in Utah and we filmed like 49 short form videos, 12 long form videos for a client, right? But the way we were able to come up with those content ideas is because the quarter before that, we got to see the content performance and that gave us said, okay,
Mm.
let's focus on this format because this format works well. What I'll even say is that we test out like maybe 4 or 5 different formats for a client. And then we'll see over the course of that quarter, like what actually resonated with their specific audience. And then the next quarter, we're like, okay, we'll go all in on that one.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't even want to ask tools of choice, but it just again, so Abby, hopefully that answered the question. Appreciate you for bringing that up. And then Montella is saying, he would use the same type of concept that you were talking about, Florence, for sports recruiting, because Montella's big with working with high school and college
Mhm.
athletes and getting them positioned in
Mhm.
the right location, getting funding, getting scholarships and things of that nature. So I'm thrilled the fact that we're finding use cases again outside of just the digital content creation world, even though that's a huge part of what we do, but also for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and things of that nature. So I'm your boy feeling good here that we hopefully bringing some value to the community here and
Yeah.
keep the questions going. I wanted to bring up. I'm not going to show everything though. I'm going to show a little bit. So I need some Notion expertise as well. We got some Notion expertise on the Tech Forum co-host list. So your boy over here, I'm trying to do some things. Set up again, just some very simplified structure for the team to be. I don't want to put everybody's business out here, but let me just
Yeah. Scroll past that.
let me
Keep
scroll
going.
real
Keep
quick.
going.
So again, topic ideas, when we plan to go live, the things that we plan to do. I'm not sure if you can see this real good on vertical, but again, then we start drilling down, and it gets very much more into detail, specifically about what we're going to be covering and what we're going to be talking about. So, shouts out if you can read that. There we go. This is what we're talking about right now. We've got this written down. I did leverage a little
James
bit
wrote
of the
it.
Notion AI to help me with this, but help me with the framework for it. And then
Yeah.
I filled in all of the missing pieces. So leveraging AI, leveraging
Mhm.
these tools to help, again, get the ball rolling. And then we use
Mhm.
our own, we ad lib and add in our own flair and attention to it to make it right. So yeah, that's how we using this particular tool that was brought up. Gangster.
So
Nice.
Montel is asking another question, by the way, just whenever you get to it.
Well, let me get through with changing the screen. Lord have mercy, y'all.
I know. I'm like looking at the
No,
comments.
that gives you an
Listen,
opportunity. We can read it and be
take my
prepared.
glasses off. Listen, see, folks, y'all know, okay, I'm gonna put our business out now. They were both on my case before we went live, and it had me nervous. I got your boy sweating over here because I got to make sure everybody's alignment is right. See, when you got directors and producers on the live, everyone's an expert, right? So I get nervous talking to folks in the business because I'm like, no, hey, check my color grading, check my. All right, whatever. What was the other question? I would apply
Do
the
you
concept
You
to
want
guys
me to read
use
sports.
it?
AI? Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
already
time,
did
Abby?
Montel's
Go
question.
ahead.
His question was about the concept of using it with sports recruiting, but. Um, Do you guys use AI automation to do research on your competitors to pull
Hell
out winner posts, which you can
yes.
reverse engineer and tweak your niche and test it? My gosh, that's a phenomenal
Yes.
question. Phenomenal.
100%
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. And as
Yes and
well
yes.
as sometimes it's not even your competitors. You can look at what's happening. I don't do this a whole lot, but you can look at what's happening, and it would be relevant in sports, especially, and know that use an LLM to help you narrow down linking content you've already planned. I don't want to use the word, but with whatever's currently happening, right? So, for example, the Steelers and the Ravens right now. If you're in sports, professional sports, in NFL, all of that, it doesn't matter. There are lessons or pieces that's relevant for what's happening in those spaces that's relevant in your business. Just make sure that you craft the language well. But you can use an LLM to help you find those touch points.
Mhm. Yeah. He's playing around in the background. I was like, "Why?"
Well, I was just
One of
being
my favorite
quiet
tools
because you
is
talked about my
do you guys
Steelers.
know about poppy.ai? Have you seen that?
Yeah. Talk a little bit
Okay, so
about that.
Yeah.
Poppy.ai is one of our favorite tools because we'll take like our top performing, let's say short form videos, and then I'll link it to another video of where someone says like these are the best viral hooks to use. Maybe I might pull something from Ali Abdal, right? Just as like
hmm
my framework to say, this is my top performing social media content. This is the best hooks that they say that I should use. Here's a recent article for like newsjacking purposes. Write a script for me that leverages all of that information in there. And then Poppy will go ahead and do that there. Other things that I've done is, the other things that I've done is I'll put in like one of my favorite creators' videos in there. And then I'll say, like, what is the format that they use for their last 5 videos? And the LLM will actually go ahead and break it down for me. And then we could create the script for it. So Poppy.ai is like one of our best tools to do that one. And funny enough, James, I think you saw this before. Like my Opus clip video on YouTube
Yeah.
has been crushing it because a long time ago I was telling people if you just take a creator's top short form content and then you put it into Opus, and then you know how it analyzes it and it will say
Right.
like this will do better. I'm like, take that information and then just build upon it with your experience and then go about it that way. But eventually you'll start to see like what are the specific hooks that they use, the pacing of it, the graphics and all of that other jazz, and you'll learn a lot from it.
I will
Mhm.
put this in the show notes. Getpoppy.ai is where it is. I remember when they first came out, pricing was at one level, and then they started blowing up, and pricing went to another level. So, but it's one of those things, you get what you pay for. And I've
Yeah.
heard a number of creators who are winning and are doing the thing. They're definitely leveraging this platform and leveraging this tool. So I'll make sure that folks know about this as well. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and you could create different boards. So I have different profiles for different clients. Like one's a naturopathic doctor, one's a lawyer, one's a this, one's a that. But then it's still based off of our framework as far as like what's the best hooks and formats that would work for them. That way, I'm never having to like start from scratch. I like these questions. You guys keep them coming.
Yeah,
Word.
keep
Yeah,
them
word.
coming. One thing I do wanna say is also be mindful of what content type is for the audience, for the buyer that you're targeting.
Mm. Go into that
Be
a little bit more.
very aware of uh, not every buyer is gonna be where it at every place. And Stephanie's gonna say this a much more elegant way. But your buyer, I'm not saying your audience, I'm saying your buyer intentionally. Your buyer may be on TikTok with short form, but your buyer may be on Substack and they read. Your buyer, and so be as you look through these tools and you think about these concepts, know or learn where your buyer is, and
Yeah.
then learn what phases you need to take the buyer through
Mm-hmm.
to get to them. Now, when I say the word buyer, I want to dig in. It may be a person, a B2B, it may be a B2C, it may whatever, but it may be nonprofit. It may be volunteer work. It could be high schools. Everything we do, there's a buyer. Every piece of time we present, there's a buyer, an idea that we're selling, a process that we want people to understand, a transformation we want to take people through. Some of it is commercial and some of it is not commercial. But regardless, the buyer sits somewhere and there's a journey that you need to take them through from where they are. So if they're a reader and they're in Substack reading, or they're a video watcher, or they're a podcast listener, or they're a combination, or they sit in front of the television because that's where they came from, if they're on their mobile device, have an understanding because the decisions you make are going to be slightly different for each of those venues.
Yeah. I'm going to say a lot of content creators are super lazy too because they'll only choose one
I was
channel.
thinking that's okay. So that's what
Like
I was
they'll,
pausing and
I
not
was
wanting
yeah.
I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be
Yeah, you're the
nice.
nice one though.
Yeah.
James and I are like, look, listen. Like if I see a video pop off on YouTube and that's the only thing they've ever done was like a YouTube video, I will literally go in there, grab the transcript, repurpose it and put it into like a blog post, a carousel, LinkedIn. Like I'll do all the damn things and then link it
You're
to my
supposed
site.
to. You're supposed to
Right?
do
Yeah,
that.
you're supposed to. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, you were leading the race, but now I'm gonna like just plant all the seeds behind it so that way I could grow this whole entire forest of content. But yeah, it's just you could see what your competitors are doing, and just because they did it doesn't mean that they did it well, right? Because to her point, not everyone's gonna watch like a 45 or 2 hour, 3 hour live stream.
No.
But if I can pick and choose, like, oh, okay, so I saw in your live chat replay, the comments started to pop off at like this point, then I'm going to take that and I'm going to run it from there. A lot of times too is I'll grab like a transcript, I'll put the own time codes, and then I'll just hop around. I'm like, oh, I like that piece. Because again, no one's going to stay there for the whole 2 hours. So if I just take like the 10-minute piece that you got everyone super excited and then just make that 10-minute piece, yeah, that works out for me.
So there's the cheat codes. Some of the cheat code right there, folks. What Stephanie is saying, what all three of us are saying. I mean, some folks think this is hard and it's rocket science. It's not. It just takes that time and take that effort, and you can't be lazy. If you want to have success at anything in life, especially this very saturated industry of digital content creators. If you're gonna rise above the noise and you want to rise above all of the stuff that's out there that's filling everyone's profiles and everyone's feed, you gotta maybe do the same thing but do it better. And what is better? You know.
Mhm.
You've got a community, you've got a folks that are around you, you've got your sphere of influence, and you know how to reach them specifically such that it resonates with them. I'm saying a whole lot of words, but they said it so much better than I, because I would have dropped some 4 letter words or something. But I got Dr. Fryer here, so I want to make sure that my language stays appropriate. That's all we're saying, man. Let me look at these comments because they coming through when people are coming with some great. See, look at Dr. Fryer talk about cheat codes. He over there cheating right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about your Eagles, brother. Ooh-wee. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Um, John's coming through with a great question here. He says, "What is the order you use before creating a YouTube video? One topic, two thumbnail, three hook, then video, or what order should we be thinking about to make YouTube videos?" And that kind of really leads into the next segment that we were going to go into, and that was about distribution channel strategy. So how do we package content, and where does it make sense for the content to go? Tech Forum goes specifically to a handful of channels because that's where it resonates and that's where it's supposed to. I'm just ebonics like where it's supposed to go, where it is supposed to go, as opposed to maybe live streaming this on TikTok. This doesn't make sense to go live on TikTok. That platform does not consume this type of content this particular way. So to answer John's question, let's get into that. And either one of you go first. What's your strategy for kind of that order of importance for creating content and delivering content?
Like specific to YouTube?
Let's start there. Let's start YouTube, and then maybe let's talk about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, again, we're all business owners and we want to talk to the business community. And LinkedIn, listen, don't sleep on it. It's the truth. Let's maybe talk YouTube, LinkedIn, and then a property that you own as well, because
Yeah.
we
I
need to
would
get off
say
this rented land.
YouTube, it's not really that fancy to me in my head, but I'll tell you what it is that we do. So we'll usually have like the title and we'll script it out. Client will go ahead and film it. And then after we film it, then we'll have at least 3 custom thumbnails that we'll split test, right? So we'll do that. And then if more often than not, we'll have like a long form video and then short form videos to support it, right? Because when we put out a short, I mean, I think this happens for everyone. When you put out a short form video, it goes out a lot faster. Your reach is a lot faster. And then we'll always say like related video is the long form video. And so that's how we find that we're converting that traffic over into YouTube. And then more often than not, if we can put it into a playlist, we'll always create a playlist. And so in YouTube, sometimes we'll even have like the description that says, if you love this video, check out the playlist. And that keeps directing people into it. The more I could get them to binge watch our playlist, the better. The better for us. Because then we'll show up on in the recommendations for our clients. Hope that helps.
Florence, before you chime in, talk a little bit about, so Steffi, talk a little bit about playlists, because we're assuming that folks understand what that is. There's a lot of things that are behind the scenes YouTube studio that are coming out, and it's hard to sift through it all because they release something and they don't tell you about it. You got to be on the newsletter list or whatever. The difference, what is a playlist on in
So a
YouTube?
playlist is a collection of videos. Like you could say, like let's say a lot of people did like the 12 days of Christmas and then you would just upload your 12 videos. But I could organize it into a folder, into a playlist that says here's day 1 through 12 and go about it that way. But we try to do it very strategically from an SEO perspective. Like let's say AO Artificial Intelligence 101 for government contractors, part 1. Part 2, part 3, right? But we're using the same keyword for every single video. And I know some people are like, it's not about SEO. It's not about keyword. It is. For us, it is because we're B2B.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps us out a lot because then when our prospects go in for that specific keyword, they'll start to see, oh, it's not just one video. It's a whole playlist that they could binge watch on. and then we'll have the CTA for them to like book a demo and kind of go from there.
Do you have any of your playlists set up as a podcast in YouTube? Because you have that, you know, that option is available as well.
Yeah, we have it for some clients, but what I'm finding is that once we broke it off to a separate YouTube channel, now the YouTube channel is just the podcast, nothing else. It's just straight podcasts, and
Mm,
then another channel is straight short form, and then another channel is straight um, long form video. So
interesting.
that's been a very interesting play.
Okay. Lawrence, what about you? When it comes to creating your strategy and your content, because you do your weekly show as well, what's the is it the idea first? Is it the
Mhm.
thumbnail first? What's your order of execution?
So I'm gonna read his question again because I've been sitting here to what is the order you use before creating a YouTube video? So the first thing is, and I'm full transparency, y'all know I tell my business out here, not too much. Um, Drilling down to one problem, one question, one answer, one video.
Mm,
Some people would lump that together and say, get your ideas together. That's too nebulous. Be specific. Who is this for? What are they asking? And what's my answer? That's the order. Then you can get into, okay, I've got my question. I've got my answer. How do I don't make thumbnails. I have someone make my thumbnails for me. How do I get this tell this story in this thumbnail? Whether you're doing it or you have a designer do it. Regardless, how do you tell the story from the way you think and the way you approach it and who your again, who's your buyer?
hmm
The way your buyer is going to respond to it because all buyers are not responding to the same thing. Case in point, I want simple. You got a whole lot of foo-foo, I'm gonna go right past you. I don't care how wonderful your content is. Whole lot of foo-foo, I'm going right past you.
mm.
But simple and clear, you've got my attention. So, what's the question? And I'm one of those people that when I'm looking very specifically to answer a question. And it's not always business. I'm going to again tell on myself. This year is the first year I'm learning football. So I have tons of questions that I want to ask. Like, what does that mean? Or I hear a word. I'm specifically searching for the answer to that question. If someone puts a video out and they may answer the question, but they got a whole lot of crazy on that thumbnail, I'm going to go right past it. But if I see a thumbnail and it looks like it's going to answer my question, and then I look at the topic, the title, and it says, here's what a O line is, for example, because I didn't even know that when I started. Then I'm going to watch it and then I'm going to pay attention to it. So, one question, one problem, one answer.
I love it.
And then you can create your video.
That's counterintuitive.
Did I
I'm
s
I'm not I'm
did I say too much?
no, I'm trying to be the doubting Thomas, just to be a doubting Thomas and just to instigate. But that's counterintuitive, I think. I agree with it. No,
Mhm.
trust me though. I agree with it, but that's counterintuitive to how I don't even want to say the human mind because Stephanie will just run laps around me if I say anything about about mental or anything of that nature. Shouts out to you over there. But that's how we have to think, right? We have to think what's going to resonate with the community, with the messages. So as opposed to again building things in a vacuum because we like it, it looks good to us. We're not our audience. And one thought, one conversation, real quick or concise, as opposed to worry less about production and direction and worry more about the what you're going to say in the first 3 to 5 seconds. Make sure you grab them in that first first bit of time, so they actually stay there, because society really is that swipe left, swipe right, really quick. If I don't grab you, if you don't grab me in 3 seconds, I'm gone. Ah, yeah, I'm like that. That's what happened. All right.
And different
I'm
buyers,
just trying to give you a
right?
hard time, but I can't even give you a hard time because I agree with you. So I'm just that guy heckling from the back of the room. I'm sorry.
It's all good, but the attention economy is real. Um, and so being aware of wanting to make sure your value is getting the person's attention. And it's not just to get the person's attention. If you're really there to serve the person,
Yeah.
then you want their attention so that you can truly serve them. And that
Good.
comes in all kind of flavors. All kind of flavors. There's no one flavor. You can be, and I learned this year, again, back to me in football, who didn't know anything about football, and for most of my life said I hated football.
You talking a whole lot
But
about
now
football
that I'm
tonight.
watching it,
Yeah.
I am, because I'm kind of upset
Come on with
about
it,
my
girl.
Ravens. But
Come on with
anyway,
it, sis.
um, but once you start to understand there's a lot in there and there are lessons, life lessons that you can pull out, then it changed for me.
Got you. Mm.
There's lessons about dedication, working when nobody's looking, working when you don't have you're not first on, you're not starting, but you're still putting in the work. Like there's lots of real world application that if you take a minute, it applies to everything. It applies to you if you're a content creator. It applies to you if you are a corporate executive. It applies to you if you're in ministry. It applies to you if you're raising your kids. It applies to you everywhere. But it took someone who was passionate and who did, frankly, this is what happened. Another creator, someone we know, Yolanda B over on Ravens Talk, she did a whole series that broke down like what these positions were and O-line,
Okay.
D-line, all this stuff that I'd never heard. And as I started truly listening to her and not being judgmental, there was a whole message there. Then I could relate to it and could understand. That's why. But she had to get my attention first. Simple, again, back to I said, simple, straightforward. I was looking for answers. I could see the answer was going to be there just by the packaging. And she went straight into it. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff flying all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't keep track of it. So, and that's really true in any topic that you pick, that you're in, whatever your topic is. Underwater basket weaving, we always say, but somebody out there love it.
You just dated yourself with that one. We ain't nothing stay. Kids ain't said that in a
I,
long time.
I
Lord, okay.
look,
Okay.
I'm nice and seasoned. I am not ashamed of it.
Okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. Well, listen, we must be talking about something that makes sense, because my man with the flashing backpack is here. And he
Oh
said,
boy.
and he knows what I'm talking about. My man Brandon with the flashing backpack is here. And he says the first 3 seconds are so important. Appreciate you for being here, my brother.
Sure. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But
Walt
all
is
of
here. Love you,
all
brother.
that gets back to who are you serving? Who are you serving? You can you're a buyer. Because we're
Yeah.
Yeah.
all serving someone. Stephanie is serving her clients in B2B. They're serving someone as well. I
Yeah.
often say in the industry that I'm in, if I don't do what I do, when someone's family shows up at the doctor's office, the ER, in surgery, they don't get what they need. They'll never know I exist, but yet I'm serving them. So it's who are you
Mhm.
serving?
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm looking at some of the comments here, and they're in line with the dialogue that we're having. And a man here, or my person here, my time ABHI, new in the
Abby
stream.
or something.
You know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
You do?
No.
Oh, okay. Hey,
But I love
hit
the
me.
comments because
I'm about to
I'm
say,
like,
hey,
ooh,
hit
these
me
are
up
good
in the
questions.
DM, because you about to get a discount code in the merch shop. You coming through with some bangers, and
Yeah.
hopefully we're getting through to all of the questions that you have raised, because they are on point 100, 100%.
I like
Let's
the
see
question
here.
about adopting an established client if they're 100,000 and higher to go 500,000. I was wondering if that was dollars, if that's what you meant. But the main question was, how do you skip starter content to delivering main course that turns into signature content? I do that. You will never see me doing Ecamm 101 content. How to create a scene. I don't
Oh
do that.
Lord, okay.
I go
We about
straight
to
into,
yes.
you want to be a remote live video producer. These are the 5 scenes that you need to have in the next pitch that you go to with a particular client. Here are the psychological hacks that I use to do it. I go straight into that. I'm not all like, oh, this is how you go into live demo mode. I don't do that. So if you think that you have to do starter content before you do main course content, that's a limiting belief on you, because I'll just go straight into, boop, this is how I secured a client on a retainer for this much. I'm not going into, this is how you turn on your computer.
Say that right there again, or
I'm
I'm just gonna chime in from the mountaintop, right? Rising above the noise, because there's a lot of noise that's already out there. What camera you're using, what light you're using, what
I don't
microphone you're
talk about that
using,
anymore.
all of that stuff. There is an abundance of that's out there, and it's all very subjective.
Mhm.
Let's help you move from point A to point C, and then all
Yeah.
the way down the line, right? Let's make you 10% better here within the next month or so, and actually give you some real strategies and best practices. How to be a remote producer, not just live stream, how to be a remote producer. I need a remote producer right now because I'm pushing a lot of,
Buttons.
man, your boy, I'm
He's
pushing a
pushing a
lot of
lot of
buttons
buttons.
behind the scene here. So anybody send me your rates, because we could use a remote producer, but just those types of things, right? Building micro content for your clients and distributing that out as well. Setting up your rate sheets and things of that. So not just, again, I want to start going live or I want to buy a camera. No, let's think bigger here in 2026. We got these co-hosts here who are in the game and running the game and killing it. Leverage
Yeah.
these
I
folks, man.
think in the last episode too, we talked about how, like, the content I create, I don't create DIY content anymore. If you want to do it yourself and learn for yourself, you're not the client for me. The client for me is the client that says, I don't
And
want
that's
to think
okay.
about it. I don't want to push buttons. You do it, Steph. I will throw my credit card in your face so you could do
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, give it to me. I'll do it. But the DIYs that say, Stephanie, how do I create it? Not the client for
Yeah.
me. I have another creator that I could recommend you to that
You can
shows you
send, yeah.
tutorials, and
Yeah.
I'll send you somewhere else. But if you're just like, baby, I ain't got time for that, come to me. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll get you set up in like 15 minutes. Good to go. Let's go.
Let me ask this, because that's a huge thing as well. But I kind of want to bring this plane in a little bit because I want to be cognizant of folks' time. But that's a huge piece right there. And folks, please reach out to Stephanie and Florence if you have additional questions. Again, their contact information is in the description here. But as it relates to creating this content, as it relates to understanding what those processes are, the initial process, the pre, intra, and the post, and coming up with the ideas, sharing those ideas. Where do you see automation? Where do you see leveraging automation, leveraging AI? When is it time to automate, and when is it time to be more hands-on? What's your ideas as it relates to? And it's not always just an AI conversation. So I may even just add outsource, so not just automate, but when is it best to automate / outsource some of those administrative tasks?
When I want to focus on sales. I should be closing deals, not copy pasting into a blog post. I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be scheduling things on a social media scheduler and writing captions. I should be closing sales. I should be pitching. I should be doing my follow-ups. Like, that's what I should be doing, because I'm a CEO. I'm a business owner. I'm not the intern. Sorry. I don't do intern stuff. I will pay an intern, but I'm not gonna. I'm above that. I've been in this business long enough to know that. Look, listen. I have a 10-year-old, right? If I could teach my child how to read and walk, I could sure as hell write an SOP, and I could teach someone internationally, a VA, to do that. So, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Does that make sense? Come
Well,
back.
No, that's gonna be the next clip, ladies and gentlemen, from SG that blows up. The last one that I did with her is on fire, and in about 2 hours, that's gonna be all over the internet again because that one's gonna blow up too. Heed these words, Florence. You got to follow that. I'm sorry. Woo wee. It's on you, sis.
Some of the same. What are the things I think about it slightly differently because you could be in a position where you are still at the stage where you're doing things yourself.
Mm,
You it is essential, however, to figure out how to build a team, you to leverage some of their expertise. I mentioned earlier that I don't make my own thumbnails. I have someone who makes my thumbnails. I do have a VA, which I rarely talk about, but there are things that I have the VA do that I just like. I give them the raw, I give them what I want, the output, and I get the output. That's what I care about. Um, my best friend, who happens to be in the chat, does a lot of behind the scenes stuff for me, not because it's anything other than it's interesting, and he happens to really care about me. He's my best friend. But you've got family, you've got close friends, leverage it. In terms of automation and technology, I've got a handful of tools I use nearly every day. One of my absolute favorite, because I said earlier, everything starts with words. Whether you're making a video, you're writing a song, you're writing a poem, you're scripting, you're repurposing, everything starts with words. So one of my absolute favorite tools is using text expansion tools because anything that I'm going to write more than once, it's going to go in a text expansion tool. I don't need an AI for that. I don't need a LLM. I just need to take that text, throw it
mm,
in there, and I'll
mm,
remember how to, and it'll spit it out. I did a month of daily post in December called The Gift of Time. I spent a little bit of, in fact, I had my VA take my scratch pad notes, put 31 posts together in the way that I wanted them, and threw them into text expansion. And in the morning, I would get up, hit two buttons, post done for the day.
mm,
So you can leverage both, and you can get a lot done using various LLMs and other AI tools. I do a lot of my repurposing using an AI tool that works for me.
mhm,
Before you get all of these tools, you have to know. I go back to who are you serving? What questions are you answering? Who are your buyers? Where are they? That is far more important than a tool. You can have a VA, an
mm.
assistant, and you don't know what you're trying to solve. You just paying them to sit around. That I like. That's really what's. Ask me how I know.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna say I don't have cash like that, but okay.
I don't either. That didn't last long. I was like, mm-mm.
Mm,
So all of those, and Stephanie is right, then once you can get to the place and you're thinking, okay, I need to be talking to the person who's going to come in the door. Again, it doesn't matter whether it's commercial, if it's B2B, B2C, it's whatever, it's nonprofit. The person I'm serving, those are the people I need to be reaching out to and having the conversations with. And that's
Yeah.
how I leverage, because that's the thing that I can do for my business that someone else can't do for my business.
Yep.
where it makes sense, when it makes sense, for
Mhm.
different kind of strokes for different kind of folks, right? Because my answer is somewhere in between, right? Just for the fact that I completely agree with both of you, obviously, because I'm not going to get myself in trouble, first of all. But my method of operation it's a gray line. It's right in between because I, being a trusted advisor, being a subject matter expert, whatever the adjective you want to use this week, I need to at least know about these various tools that are out there, these various platforms, so I can make a recommendation to my client. Say, you know what, based on your scenario, based on your situation, I recommend X, Y, and Z. But again, I have never gone to somebody and said, first of all, go out there on AppSumo, go out there on Adobe, go out there and just buy something that does most of what you need. That just didn't even sound right coming out of my mind. I'm scratching my head just as I say that, right? So I want to come with an educated response. But for me, again, being the teacher, the strategist, the subject matter expert, that person, I need to at least know something about Riverside versus Descript versus these other things, or a ClickUp versus a Notion. I need to at least know at that 35,000 foot level, and then start diving in deeper. Definitely don't recommend folks go out there and just starting up trial subscriptions or paying on an annual basis for all these tools, because that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. So again, different strokes for different folks, but what resonates with you and your business, your clientele, and also, let's just be realistic. Not everyone is at the same level in this journey.
Right.
Stephanie came out and said, "Listen, I'm CEO. I ain't got time to be doing that. I need to be out here doing. Listen, we're gonna give these flowers, right? I need to be out here closing business and doing strategic things as opposed to being tactical things. And not everyone is at that stage. So again, where you are in this journey, don't try to mimic what a Stephanie or a Florence or Chris Stone or Brandon or what other folks are doing.
Dr. Fryer.
Dr. Fry. Oh, is he saying something? Let me make sure I'm not.
No,
Okay. I
I'm
get
saying
nervous.
don't try to mimic him.
Okay, I get nervous when I got these winners here in the buildings, because I want to make sure I'm saying the right things. But run your own race and do your own thing. So and measure yourself accordingly, according to your own metrics. My
Yep.
vision board, I point over there. Y'all know it. It's right. It's on my wall. One of these days, I'm just gonna put my camera up so you can see it. My vision board has nobody else's name on it except mine.
Yeah.
I have folks that I look to and look at for reference. But I ain't chasing nobody else. I'm chasing my own goals. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Uh,
go.
let
There
me
you go. Mm-hmm.
let me see here. My
The
man,
comments are
or
popping off.
they
Yeah.
popping off. They jump, and we got people here that I see. This is my problem too. Again, here's a squirrel moment. I don't know if Montella's still here. One of the analogies that I used a lot last year, and maybe Florence, you remember this, is we kind of like crack dealers.
Don't say it.
I said it already. So
Stop.
I can't, because I've already put it out there, and I can't just leave it out there in the internet. Kind of like a crack dealer, right? So what we did was we gave you a little bit. But you want some more. I know y'all want some more. We about to sprinkle it. So we need you to come back each week. Help me come up with another analogy, folks. It's trifling, and I apologize for doing that. This is just what I do. Billy Thorpe is here, and I'm talking about crack.
Oh, Jesus.
Tuning in from IG as well. Lord have mercy. That means he's probably showing it to people in his neighborhood. He's saying, "Oh, I got some people on here, my friends," and the guy in the middle is talking about dealing crack. I got nothing else to
All I
say.
need is a little bit.
There's a question here. When is the right time to
Thanks, Lawrence.
completely automate videos with avatars? Never. Never.
I mean, I was
The
gonna lean
more
towards that too. But I will say, if you're doing
the
explainer videos,
Yeah.
fine. I'll let you off the hook for an explainer video, like the little graphics like that. You can have an avatar for that. But I think everything else, it should be you.
Yeah.
not even explainer videos, because I've
Really?
had to watch some, I was like, I can't watch this garbage. I was like, you
All right.
can't even say words right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess
So,
if you are gonna do the
um,
explainer videos, I like the ones where they have like the drawing hands and they do the doodles, just
Yes.
because I want to see like what it looks like when
okay.
it's done. I wouldn't
Mhm.
mind like an AI voice for that if it was done very well, but video wise, I don't know. Anytime it's you on camera, that is always going to be like advantage, always an advantage, because now And maybe, I don't know about you guys, but now when I see an AI video of a person talking, like, boop, scroll. I just scroll.
Yeah.
Even if it's a friend. I'm sorry, y'all.
I tried it, and let me holler at Jarrell here. Yeah, I got to agree with them both because I won't get in trouble. Listen, I got these powerful women around me. I want to make sure that I stay in good graces. But hopefully, I explain myself accordingly. To the AI avatars, I tried it a few times. I tried it for a season, real brief season. Looked at my metrics, looked at my analytics, and then really looked at myself and said, "This ain't right." It's just it did. I couldn't get an avatar to do the jazz hands like I do. I couldn't get it to do me, the persona and everything that resonates with me and my community. So um, did it a couple of times with explainer videos and with some product announcements, like some merch launches and things of that nature. And just it didn't hit as much as I would have expected to. My expectations are quite high for anything that goes out to anything that's got my signature on it. I want it to be of quality, and it just didn't. It's not there yet. They're pretty close. I saw my time ABHI was talking about was it Higgsfield, right? Again, some of those other AI LLM types of tools,
Yeah.
and again, to a degree and to an extent, but not as the overarching strategy. I will never do a faceless channel that only relies uh, on AI tools to run it and generate the content. So
I'm not going to hate on it, though, because Austin Armstrong, he has syllabi.io, and
yeah, true.
people are crushing it on there with that. But again, it's a separate channel from a personal brand. I wouldn't do it. But if I just wanted to do like a history channel on underwater basket weaving, then sure, do an avatar on that. I don't care. I don't care.
real quick, and then spread it out. Do one like every 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what we did, y'all. We hopefully we hit y'all with something, and I'll change my analogy. I'll get away from the crack dealers, and I know probably Chris Stoner's gonna hit me in the comments after this and be like, "Bruh, you gotta change your mindset."
Can we answer one question? Because I've been thinking about
Yeah,
this one. It was from My Time Abby.
yeah,
And it said, Steph, have you ever had clients come to you um, and they're like, it's just me and my face? Or he said something about like, oh, here it is.
yeah. So, have you ever had
But Steph, when
clients
you do
come to you?
everything,
Yeah,
it was the one before that. It goes, but when you do everything, but depend on the performance of the client, how do you get the performance out of them remotely? You do media training because you just can't assume that people know how to show up on camera. Sure,
mm,
you know, there's a difference between reading and knowing how to read on a teleprompter. Okay. And sometimes people have to remind themselves that, like, you can use your hands on camera. You could point, you could do that. You could even like, hey, right. You could do stuff like you're not constrained. I think a lot of people, when they think of you being on camera, their first memory of what it looks like to be on TV or camera is a newscaster. And so they're just emulating what it is that they know. And so as a remote live producer, as part of your packages, you should include media training. And even when I was a LinkedIn instructor and an agency hired me to be the spokesperson, we had what do you call it? We would read the scripts together,
mm,
and they would emphasize, okay, Stephanie, this is where you're going to emphasize this, or this is where you're going to use your hand. They coached me. There's nothing wrong with you coaching a client as well. It just depends on what kind of remote live producer you want to be. So for us, it's like, we're going to coach you so that way you know how to charm and disarm on camera. We're going to bring out the best in my guest. Like, we go through the psychology of that, right? It's not just like, oh, can you fix your mic? Can you fix your camera? We'll go through like, try that line one more time. So even Brandon, when he is doing batch content days with clients, we're listening in. We're like, you sounded a little bit tired when you said that call to action. Can you try that one more time? Right? We're coaching them right then and there, whether we're on set or even remotely. So don't think that, client sucks on camera. That's on you. That's on you.
mm.
Because client said, I'm going to hire you so you make me look freaking smart on camera so I could get the clients that I want. And if you're not giving that constructive feedback to your client how to be better, that's on you. And you know what else I would do? I'd be like, hey, James, I don't know who's doing your videos, but they're not coaching you right. Let me coach you for a hot second. And I'm still your client.
Damn.
Dead ass, I'm gonna steal your client. I
Damn,
have
she just
seen
gonna,
CEOs
you gonna take my
be
client.
on like CNN News with their lighting all janky, and I would slide into like their LinkedIn DMs and be like, "Your PR agency, they did you wrong. Let me show you how you actually need to set up your studio."
Definitely
And
out
I'd be
there
like,
just shanking folks from the back of the room. She sneak up on folks.
you know what? I gotta put
Yeah, and
I gotta
yeah,
put food on the table. I got a
Right.
baby girl, you know, like
Short form pros, ladies
no
and gentlemen.
mercy.
Go check them out. I'm gonna put the link for them as well. There go my man Brandon right there, Mr. Light Up Backpack. Both of them will sneak up on you, and one will cut you from the left, one will cut you from the feet. God, dogger, but hey, that's what you got
He's
to
a
do.
nice one. He's
That's
the
what
nice one.
Brandon don't know what he got into, boy. Like, it's all love. It's all love. Yeah. So I will put that link as well because I've seen third person removed content that you guys have been, and some of the behind the scenes that you guys are both posting on your social, and I love the methodology that you both use, and I've seen Brandon's stuff that's come out, and it's just dope. It's hot. So here we go.
You know, one of my favorite one thing that I'll say that I don't think I've ever heard anyone actually say it amongst like our crew, our friends. When we're having a production day, we play music. We got like Bruno Mars in the back. Like we set the mood so that way when you come on set, you're already like, like you're feeling fresh. Like
Yeah.
that's a whole experience, not just like, oh, let me get my aperture right. It goes beyond that, So something to think about.
Stephanie, remember how we started? What is the
Experience.
experience? What you decide as the business what the experience is you want your customer, your client, your buyer, your whoever you're serving, what is the experience you want them to have and that they frankly you could say that they deserve to have. People I learned this from my brother who is amazing. People pay much more attention to the experience that they have than the facts. How you make them feel,
Wow.
they start there. Once you've addressed that part of who the person is, then the logic kicks in. The logic doesn't kick in first. It's the emotional response. So us as creators, as businesses, as volunteers, as whatever it is you do, start with what is the experience the person or persons in the community that I'm serving, what is the experience for them? And you will back yourself and you can re-architect or architect yourself into delivering exactly that. You'll figure out the tools. You'll figure out your flow. You'll figure out what help you need and how to get it. You can have all of that stuff and not care about the people, and it means nothing.
Intentionality is a word that we use a lot.
Being very,
Yeah.
yes, being very intentional. Thank you. Being very intentional for yourself, but really about who you're serving.
It's an easy question, but it's hard
Real
to
talk.
answer. Right. Again, I mentioned that it's it's not necessarily rocket science, and it's not we're not flying to the moon here, but very straightforward questions that you have to ask yourself before you go out there and attempt to serve others. I done quieted the room. Lord have mercy. Okay. Or maybe they just, I don't.
No, I love that. Yeah. You got to think about the experience before, during, and after. Yeah.
Cool.
I want clients to be like, damn, they were so prepared. In fact, I don't even know if you guys do this, but after our production days, we now send out a survey to our clients. And we say, we want to know from your experience, how was the experience? Did we deliver? What did you like? Are there any recommendations for the next production day that we should move forward? Because we're always looking for feedback. And not a lot of people are ready for that kind of feedback, but we were just like, whatever, just tell us, you know? I'd rather have you tell me than try to ghost me or expect that I could read your mind, because I'm not going to read your mind. Just tell me.
In all
So if
transparency,
you
that is
want
an
like,
oversight
Absolutely.
that I do. I do that in my corporate when I put my corporate hat on, but
mhm,
on the Hicks New Media side, that is something that I have been negligent at. So there you go. I've learned something here as well that I will deploy and implement in these internet streets. I like that. I like that.
yeah.
Um, feedback is key. Look at him. He's still here. See that he
Oh,
probably he probably eating something.
I
He
thought he was
probably
going to pop in for like 5
he,
minutes and pop out.
yeah, he probably having some snacks though. I know Brandon probably got a little peanut butter and jelly. He probably I'm sorry. Put your business out there, brother. All respect though. Let's do this. I want to do this. Hey, what's the actual name though? My time. I got my glasses on. I can't see it because it's so small. But
My Time Abby?
My time,
I
Abby.
think
Thank
that's
you
her.
very
I don't
much.
know.
Yeah. Okay. Subscribe to these 3 channels. Florence's, Stephanie's, mine if you wish as well. I'd be honored if you do. I want to talk to you more. Invite you into the premium community that's getting ready to launch. We're right on the cusp of launching the Digital Collective, and that is where we are going to have that next level of this conversation. We had the one-on-one level conversation right now. Gave you some gems, gave you that crack. Within the community is where we gonna give you the whole dime back, brother. We gonna break it. See, I'm done. Y'all pray for me. But that's what we gonna get into it.
No, you really need to fix that.
It's too
You
late.
really have to fix
It's
that.
everywhere. You can't bring back the internet. You can't bring back what's already been said is done.
Oh, man.
Mom, I hope you're not watching right now. Your son is over here slanging barbiturates.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what we're doing. Technologist form. Hopefully we entertain, enlighten, and educate. That's what we do, right? Again, we don't want this
Yeah.
to be dry. We want this to be engaging and entertaining. These are the co-hosts that I bring on a regular basis. This is family. This isn't just me. This is all of us. So if you found value, please let me know. If you did not find value, still let me know. Go out there and subscribe to these ladies' channels because they are bringing the heat. And man, Florence, Stephanie, y'all, we did it one more again, huh? Happy 2026.
We did.
We did it.
One more again.
Happy
Sure did.
2026.
All right, we out before I
Let's
say anything else.
go.
Y'all be good.